New tonight, using the American dream to steal nearly $1 million through fraudulent property sales.
Tonight, a married couple is behind bars after admitting to an elaborate scheme of selling real estate they did not own and then laundering the proceeds. News 8's Richard Allen is here with more on how the scam worked and how people can avoid becoming a victim.
Well, that's right. It's hard to believe this could even happen. Now, Victor Almazan and his wife, Nayeli Rodriguez, both Mexican nationals who were here in the U.S. on tourist visas, were arrested last November in Houston while boarding an international flight and taken into custody. Now, today in federal court in downtown San Diego, both of them pleaded guilty to bank fraud and bank fraud conspiracy in carrying out this property theft crime and now face the possibility of decades in prison.
When you think of the American dream, part of that is to buy real estate. But what these defendants did was cause a nightmare.
A nightmare that Assistant U.S. Attorney Christopher Beeler calls one of the wilder cases that he's prosecuted.
What we unearthed was a criminal organization that would pretend to be the homeowner of a piece of land, create an email address that looked like the name of who owned the land, and then offered it for sale to these unsuspecting third-party buyers.
In this case, it was these pieces of land, an empty lot along 36th Street in City Heights that the couple ended up selling for more than $400,000. And this dirt lot on Hollister Street in the Palm City neighborhood of San Diego, which sold for over $560,000.
They would identify pieces of property that were just vacant lots. So there was no homeowner there. There was no one to say, hey, get out of my house. This house is not for sale.
As for who purchased these fraudulent properties?
Anyone from property development companies, flip companies, and those were who they targeted to buy these pieces of real estate.
Almost everything was done virtually using email with no face-to-face contact and no closing ceremony at the end.
They got away with just under $1 million and transferred it offshore, and the rest was withdrawn in cash.
The defendants created bank accounts with names similar to the true property owners, according to Beeler. They used those phony accounts to receive the stolen funds, which were then laundered offshore to Mexico and Jordan.
One lesson learned here is don't buy a home without meeting the person who you're buying it from. I think that stopgap could stop a lot of these scams.
Some good advice there. Now, Almazan and Rodriguez each face up to 30 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for each charge. They are scheduled to be formally sentenced on September 4th.
Crazy to think they almost got away with this.
Yes.
So what about the buyers who paid, what did you say, collectively about $1 million?
That's right. Yeah. Now, so it's actually the title insurance companies who were left holding the bag in this case. And like you said, collectively, it was about $960,000, almost $1 million. Now, in their guilty plea today, they agreed to make restitution, meaning they're going to have to pay back that money.
It's hard to believe this kind of scam can even work.
Absolutely. Crazy. Wild, as they said.
Keep your eyes out. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you.